So, let's talk about industrial pollution. I've got a preamble for you, my friends. Kamloops is home to many different kinds of industry, and the amount and range of sources of air pollution from industrial sectors appears to be increasing. Although some companies, including Domtar, assert that they have reduced their overall emissions in recent years, other industries arrived in town, including a biosolids operation in Barnardvale, and a big question about the future of, guess what, the Ajax Mine project. It's still on the table. We even have commercial establishments, such as restaurants. There's like a couple around that are burning wood in an outdoor fireplace all year round, creating a local air pollution problem for workers in the immediate area, and for those who live and shop in that area. So that's sort of the preamble that I've given you. There are problems with air pollution. So here's number one question. What are your views, and we'll get a chance to answer this one, on industrial sources of air pollution in Kamloops? Is it a serious problem? And, if elected, what would be your plan for addressing these issues?
The air pollution is a serious problem, and what we need first and foremost is tougher regulations, and we need very, very strict enforcement. And then we have, of course, a very structural problem that these government has become enablers of corporate interests. So longer term, what we actually need with these corporations like the Domtar mill, they have to be in public hands and under public control. Economic interests, jobs, profits have overruled everything else as it is at that point. So this is a essential change we have to make.
This is a two-parter. What are your thoughts, so we're going to start with Donovan, on slash burning, and what solutions would you recommend for minimizing the use of said practice of slash burning?
When I came here from Europe in 1989, I was actually shocked about the clear cuts, and I was wondering about these piles of wood that's sitting there. And then somebody told me that's just a waste wood, they burn that. And I was shaking my head and I didn't understand. Because I come coming from Switzerland, every piece of a tree, everything, the needles, everything is used. This can be done, right? But we don't have the regulations, we don't have the requirements of companies to do that. They get away with it, they pay a royalty fee, they get their tree, they can pretty much do whatever the heck they want with it, and we can't have that. So, what is there here? Yeah, like Dan said, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. This has been done before. There's other places in the world we can look this, we can copy this. This is not that difficult. It's the only thing that's missing here is political will, and it does not exist. It's the same as with the mining companies that finance the government, more or less, and that's the same with the large logging companies. A little less because logging has been deteriorating severely. I guess there's not that much money to donate from the logging industry, but it's basically the same thing, yes.
Transportation. Kamloops is at the intersection of many transportation routes, and historically this feature of our community has led to significant development of the city and to the creation of a unique culture and economy. Now that said, with highways running through our city and rail traffic being a continuous presence, the air pollution burden from transportation can be significant, particularly depending on where you live, as you saw from Purple Air. So, what are your thoughts on air pollution from these sources, transportation, and what specific recommendations would you develop and implement ideally to protect our airsheds?
The idle free movement, I find it kind of useless. It distracts from actually the real problem we have, and it only works if it would actually be a law, and a law will only work if we actually have enforcement. So Kamloops could pass one, but if we don't hire bylaw officers to actually enforce it, there's no point to it, really. Okay. Now, for the electric car, as Dan here was mentioning, there is a problem with that because the car in itself is not a good idea. Building a machine that weighs 1,200 kilograms to carry 300 kilograms of humans is a bad idea. And no matter what your car powered is, it still needs 2 parking spots, and it still causes the same traffic chance the same dust, the electric car will have a huge battery pack left over after 15 years or so. So that is not the solution. The solution is public transit. And we need a massive investment in public transit. Also in city transit, we need, for one thing, we need a 24-hour bus service. I mean, we have a hard time finding a cab when the bars close. When the hockey game is over, there's no transit outside the stadium, for example. And transit doesn't just have to be convenient, it also has to be nice. See, there should be washrooms at a transit exchange. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a coffee shop, for example. Shelters where you can sit down that keep you dry and warm and that kind of thing. And then on...
About 20 seconds, yeah, please.
Okay. Then we have another problem. We need intercity bus services. Greyhound doesn't do it. It's garbage. And the NDP with the $700 million for laning out of the highway all the way to Alberta, that's not helping either. So we could use that money to have a Crown-operated intercity transit service. And we need a massive investment in rail service. We could have, instead of driving trucks up here, we could have an inland port here and rail service up here. And the money is there because we're spending 8, 9, 10, I don't know how many $billion on a dam nobody needs. So the money is there. We spent $500 million to put a roof on a sports stadium in Vancouver. So nobody can tell me we don't have the money for this kind of thing.
Okay. You kind of go for 30 seconds to say something, yeah.
I'll replace your airport with a high-speed railway. If you want to go to Calgary or Vancouver.
Most people tend to downplay their own role in generating air pollution at home. Yet a significant risk exists from residential wood burning practices, from home heating, outdoor burning in chimeneas, and even the use of smokers to cook food. So we're doing this stuff. A lot of us are still doing this. So question, starting with yeah. Given that the city of Kamloops and many other cities, by the way, have failed to adequately address these issues, what role should the province play in protecting public health? If elected, what action plans would you move forward?
Okay, the province itself has to take the leading role. It has to set the rules, first of all. If we're looking at the wood stoves, the first thing to stop selling the things. They're still in the shop, you can still buy them. And then we have, if I stick with the wood stoves, we have another problem, and there's a lot of wood stoves like on Old Road. The problem there is, those are low income places. These people can't afford probably hydro, they need the wood stove possibly. So there's a program where you could do an exchange program. Well, you trade your wood stove, we put solar panels on your roof, and you can sell that to the power company. So there's different ways we can go about that, but it's definitely the province has to take the lead and set the rules and the enforcement. I don't think this government can be trusted with anything on that kind of thing. What we need is a general large movement that gets governments and local and provincial governments to actually enforce rules and actually do something about it. We're too divided right now. We're all in our little groups who do all our little great stuff, but we never actually work together or often we don't really work together. We don't have a political arm. We can't decide which party we're going to vote for or something like that. So we're split up in little boxes. And that is probably the biggest problem because provincial governments takes full advantage of that. We're getting stuck on idling here a little bit, and I think we're losing, which all seems to happen, we're losing focus on the actual big picture. Mm-hmm. The problem is not that much idling, the problem is the 40,000 cars that drive over Overlander Bridge every day throughout the year. That is actually the big problem. So we get stuck in the little bits and pieces and we forget to look at the big picture. The problem with this is it's kind of a marketing thing as well, because driving is cool and transit is not cool. But we also have to see, you know, a few decades ago, smoking was cool. Smoking is not cool now. So there's no reason why we could have an anti-driving campaign on the same basis as an anti-smoking campaign and make transit cooler, right? That can be done. I mean, it takes a lot of effort, but imagine the effort we put in to build a paved road and a driveway to every house pretty much in the province. We spend incredible amounts of resources and money and effort to clean these and plow the snow and get them repaired and stuff. That can be, that effort redirected can create great things. So you're gonna ask, why should you vote for the commies? Well, let's see what we have to offer here. We have the Liberal Party, who obviously doesn't want to talk with the peasants. And then, Nancy, you were in my building the other day, and we have these beautiful pictures of John Horgan on a glossy poster with inspirational quotes. But otherwise, I couldn't really find anything on the NDP website. And then for the BC Greens, I looked this up. There's 3 principles there as a base for their programs. And I picked the second one, which says that the BC Greens will have a positive and progressive, believing that individuals and corporations will do the right thing and will adhere to a set of socially, economically, and environmentally just rules. I think this is kind of like wishful thinking. This is not an actual program or a principle. And what I have here, what we have to offer, we actually have a program. I have a People's Energy Plan here, which actually exists. It's the actual plan. It's about 10 pages. There's everything in there. Everything is covered, from Aboriginal rights to air quality and nationalization of industry, taking control over the polluters, the industry, getting our economy back into public hands, out of corporate control as it is right now. So we are the only party on the left that has a progressive agenda. You have 3 other choices, which are, in my opinion, basically 3 different versions of the same thing. So your choice is you can vote strategically, which you will end up with the lowest possible standard of government and probably be disappointed, as you are after every election, as I have been after many elections, or you can take a shot, try something different. Thank you.